disgruntled customer buying, right?
To call 911 and tell them, listen, I'm calling you guys because the FAA will just give me the runaround.
Well, there are. I can imagine hypothetical situations where, I don't know. Imagine I were obviously a terrorist, and I had a change of mind or a change of heart, and I wanted to inform the FAA that something was about to happen that I wanted to stop. Like that's when minutes matter. Now, imagine going through that system. You just be like, yeah, just forget it. Leave a message. Yeah, I think not. It's disgraceful. We're talking, and something that's being presented as a hotline that goes straight to a recorded message.
It ain't hot. It's a slow line, you guys. It ain't a hotline, okay? FAA slow line, right? Like slow jam or hot and fast jam? I don't think so. With that, really quick, I'm going to say hi to Heather Holman and Australian Paul. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, and Australian Paul.
G'day.
Good day. So you guys have any comments?
Not yet.
Okay.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh, that's absolutely so funny on the FAA thing. It's so slow, and my God, hypothetically, if Wingman was a terrorist, he'd get away with it, basically.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, FAA, they know that all terrorist operations are an inside job, so they don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, that's food for thought, huh?
Yes. They don't have to.
But, when I mentioned also the first number I called, which, I thought was the right number, the whole demeanor of this individual was one of constant accusation, like, it was like I was the enemy, I was the, and I felt quite insulted by the way that I was being questioned and the way he would avoid asking my direct questions.
Almost like you are the potential troublemaking / potential terrorist, whatever. Like you're not a client. The customer is always right. No, the customer is a potential hassle / dangerous, whatever, right?
Yeah. And I've seen this pattern emerging more and more, not just in customer service, but with regards to people's interaction with so-called authority, whether it be in a local government capacity, whether it be in a police capacity, a politician type capacity, or simply a customer service type capacity. It seems that there's a distancing between any kind of want or desire to deal with a situation that needs to be dealt with, as though someone's trying to pass the buck or not deal with the situation. Give you the runaround.
It's become a bureaucracy as opposed to a. I know our airlines are what do you call it? They're regulated by government, rules and so forth, but it's also a private entity as well. So to draw the line, it does sound like a bureaucracy, though, doesn't it?
Well, no, but that's the thing. It is a bureaucracy. It didn't become one, it doesn't start behaving like one. It just is a bureaucracy.
So would you say, Steve, though, I'm just saying, figuratively, it's a bureaucracy. It is one that is, it also is private, where they make a profit. So it's kind of like, which is true of government, entities as well. But I think because it's kind of like they're dependent on the safety rules, regulations set forth by governments, but then they're also very profit motivated. So it's a bureaucracy within a private corporate setting. So no, that's why it's really extra screwed up and confusing to people, right? Like how it's run.
Mm-hmm.
It's not straight out there like, yes, we're here for you, no, but we're really run by the government, which is probably the truth, right? So.
Well, one thing I've noticed is systematically almost certainly even over the last 10 years, is that avenues of change or redress that an individual may have are being made purposely, I think, so harder and harder. For example, with corporations now, it's hard to just simply speak to someone. I mean, if you put something on eBay and you might have a problem, you try finding eBay's number or trying to get through to a person. It's really hard. Same goes for a lot of other corporations, whether it be banks, your local cable company. They'll give you the runaround before actually putting you through to someone. And you have to be quite clever nowadays to navigate some of these menus and telephone systems. So not just, as I say, not just within corporations itself, but change mechanisms within local government and national government are being made harder and harder. Getting a response from someone, getting some sort of emotional attachment to your cause, for example, is really hard.
Yeah, you want to talk to automation. I mean, it just makes society more alienated. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's because people, I think, by nature have to provide answers to, solutions or help with solutions, and I think I find more and more that that's falling on deaf ears. To be honest, that intelligence is falling on deaf ears as though nobody wants to know. But I'm not bothered,
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what we do about that. I really don't know what we do with that. And another thing I've noticed is what I call them busybodies in local government. People that one of the problems we've got in the UK is we've got road humps everywhere.
Mm-hmm. We have speed
Is that a
bumps
problem
too.
in the States?
We have some of those.
Bumps,
Yes,
yeah.
we have them. Yeah.
And these are infuriating. They're propping up everywhere, and they make my life miserable when I'm driving anywhere. So I want to take a shortcut. It's the dum.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just one classic example of I call them busybodies that have to be seen to be doing something in local government for the sake of doing something. You understand where I'm going with that?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I think it's as though an individual comes into the office, and obviously there are many, officers out there and what they deal with, whether it be, local amenities, trash collection, you name it. And they'll come into an office and it seems as though they have to make their mark on something. And often that making their mark often seems to impose upon the freedoms and hassling the lives of others for the sake of them exercising their position in office. And, I don't know how we get around that, but it seems to be happening more and more where someone wants to make their mark, and speed humps is just one example of them. But anyway,
Right,
that's
Mm-hmm.
my little rant. I was going off a little bit there, but it's just stuff I've noticed with regards to things getting worse, and the telephone and the FAA one was an example of that. And, even something of great safety concern, an individual's given the runaround, and I'm seeing that pattern more and more.
Mm-hmm. Really quickly, I wanted to, when we were talking about the difference between, because like I said, looking back on 2014, and we've also had this string of police shooting situations that are racially, I'm not going to say racially motivated, that's the wrong term, I'm going to say racially involved. Incidences that has also happened recently at the end of 2014. So those are other incidences we can, discuss as well. But I wanted to ask, since I mentioned about the still missing Malaysian airplane 870, and then this recent one that just crashed yesterday, and this is all within 2014. I wanted to ask Steve Travesty a little bit about when you had that theory about that Malaysian airplane being in the Andaman Islands, and do you still hold to that theory, or have you thought of anything else?
Oh, no, I don't hold to that theory anymore. Mm-hmm. All signs point to Diego Garcia.
Diego Garcia, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So, wow, that's pretty, I'm not, saying it's true or isn't, but that's an interesting premise that you came about with. Yeah, very. So that, you guys, ironically, this is at the end of 2014, and Malaysian Air has still not been, quote, located officially, that is officially, and then we have this other airline that has crashed too, and they're both Asian airline carriers. Also, as I said, we had the Ferguson incident, and then also the recent one, I'm thinking more police shootings, that'll be Ferguson, and then the New York City one. Yeah, the Ferguson one, oh gosh, I don't want to rehash this one. It's been talked about so much. I just think, I wasn't there. I believe that, probably if it's not a setup, it's probably what it was, unfortunately, a mistaken situation that ended up tragically. So, okay, I'm just being very general. The one in New York City is a little bit more complicated. I think, though, however, that's also a misfortune. But I want to comment about this one in New York when there was another, two policemen just lost their lives recently in New York City. And I think Steve Travesty might know a little bit more about it. I don't know. One of them was Hispanic. The other policeman was Asian American, I suppose. And they died. And they just had their funerals recently. And the commissioner, the police commissioner of New York City is Brackett. Oh, what's his name? He used to be here in L.A., so we had to suffer through that guy, okay? So, and then now he's Braden, I think. Yeah, so anyway, now he's commissioner of NYPD, so, and during the funeral of the two slain, during the slain policemen, when the commissioner, Bratton, or his name, he stood up and talked, the mayor stood up and talked. I have to get my facts straight here. It was either both or one of the two stood up to speak during the funeral or memorial, and some of the policemen turned their backs on them in an act of defiance. My opinion on that is I think, we don't know what happened. Well, in this case, we know what happened. These two guys lost their lives. And basically, I think the morale of the NYPD, for better or worse, is worse, for all these incidents. So, I mean, if this is how the police wanted to show their defiance towards, quote, authority figures, whether it be the commissioner of the NYPD or the mayor of New York.
Noreen, I don't understand. Mm-hmm. I don't understand that. I mean, they were like assassinated. They were sitting in their car, and somebody just ambushed them and murdered them. They killed them with a gun, and that's how they died. I never heard anything else about that.
Yeah, I'm saying I don't think there was a controversy about their death per se, but I just heard, let me look something here. I just know that the policemen, their morale is really down.
Because let me tell you, my friend, that he was a police officer who recently committed suicide because of the lack of empathy or understanding from the police force and the police chief. And the police chief in Arizona just was fired. So there's a lot of this going on from in all the states.
Right, exactly.
About officers feeling like they were betrayed or something's just not right in the system where they're working.
Yes, I'm typing in the thing right now. Just go ahead.
I think I saw the article you're on about. It was the mayor they turned their back on, apparently.
Yes, there is. I'm looking at that. And yes, it was the mayor. And it's Bratton, Bratton, and he is a current commissioner of New York City Police Department. But the mayor, you're right, the mayor was the one. And I think it's a commissioner, according to this article. But anyway, go ahead.
And I think the police commissioner actually condemned their behaviour at a funeral for doing that at the funeral.
Right.
But it was the mayor they turned their back on, which is kind of strange. I mean, as if the mayor could have prevented such a situation in the first place. Quite a strange act of defiance. But I just wanted to say, if you look at the stats over there with regards, and I did recently, with regards to police, people that have died in police kind of custody or at the hands of police, and police that have died at the hands of the public, you'll find that the actual risk in real terms, the risk to an American police officer of death is negligible. It's something like 0.001%. Compared to the civilian, the risk of a civilian, which is much higher, and the deaths of civilians have been, probably more than tenfold greater than the same comparative number of deaths of police officers, probably 100-fold actually, I would imagine. I don't have the stats in front of me, but it's certainly considerably higher. So this business of the police being more and more in fear of their lives, which is often their defence when they're charged with negligence by the parties that have been affected, and I don't think there actually has been a prosecution. I don't think a police officer has actually been convicted of murder, as far as I know. Certainly not in recent times, anyway, in the last 20 or so years. I'm not sure if any further before that, but certainly there hasn't been a conviction at all with regards to negligence at the hands of police or death at the hands of police officers due to negligence. So this business of the police officers being more and more in fear of their lives is unfounded, for starters. And they have other weaponry. They have tasers, they have gas, tear gas, they have other ways, they have training. They have martial arts training as well. Mm-hmm. So there are other means at their hand, but they're not using them, and they're claiming this, and they're getting away with saying I was in fear of my life because he pointed at me, kind of thing, which is literally,
fear. Fear is a projection into the future. So you can't look at past data and then tell somebody they couldn't be scared. The data says they shouldn't be scared. That's a psychological thing about what's going to happen, the unknown, the yet to be, and their fear, I would suggest, is actually guilt. And what I mean by that is that deep down inside, they know that either they have wronged their fellow man and think they're getting away with it, or thought they're getting away with it, or other people in the career that they chose that they love and do their best to perform with honor are making them look bad, and all of a sudden now it's as if it's racism, but it's not by the color of your skin, but by the color of your uniform. If you wear a blue uniform and with a gun badge, I hate you. And at the next moment I'm gonna kill you. Mm-hmm. Now that's how police officers in this country feel with the poor, with all poor people, not just blacks. All poor people, because poor people are picked on all the time. The police are there to keep the poor in fear because they constantly believe that there's going to be a justified uprising around the corner. And that's it. That's it. That's literally it. That is it. That is the whole thing in a bag. This whole thing going on right now in New York is being instigated by the unions. The police union for New York is the one that has started this rally cry and has been getting everybody together. You are looking at an attempted coup of New York City by the NYPD, by the union leaders, and that probably means it's some sort of a communist thing, because allegedly unions are a communist thing. So you tell me, one way or the other, this isn't a good thing. Mayor de Blasio is there for a reason, and if the cops are doing anything in reality with honor, that they need, because they have a legitimate grievance, they're cops. They should be able to present evidence to the public. The commissioner of the police or whatever, all he has to do is go on television cameras tomorrow and say, these are the crimes of the de Blasio, office or whatever, and have it done with. The only reason why that wouldn't happen is because, well, let's face it, the cops aren't in control of the head of New York's district attorney, and they can't execute crap without the DA. So they probably don't like de Blasio because they probably don't like the DA and the policy, the new level of policy that has been set for the NYPD. And keep this in mind, whatever happens in New York eventually happens to the rest of the country, or at least they try to. New York is the cornerstone of all kinds of policy for the country. They start it, they experiment with it in New York, because if you can make it work in a place as wild in spirit as New York, you can make it work anywhere.
There's a song about that, isn't there? But
Yeah.
you can New York, you can make it work anywhere.
Yeah. I have to, what do you call it? Quote, restate the quote so that I'm correct about my facts here. It was New York Police Department Commissioner Bill Bratton criticized the officers under his command, I think I'm echoing, for protesting a perceived lack of support from New York Mayor Bill de Blasio. He also defended the NYPD to city residents rallying against police brutality. Now, I gotta say something. Somebody's making a really funny noise, and I don't know if it's on this call. Do you guys hear it?
I can't hear it. It's
Hi, is this Sarah? Hi, Sarah. Hello.
How are you?
Fine. Would you like to make a statement or comment?
Well, about the noise, it's always my dog sleeping.
It sounded like a dog. I could tell.
Yeah.
It was a dog.
I'm sorry, he's always snoring.
Oh, how funny. It's a snoring dog, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Right?
it's
How
dog.
funny. I was thinking one of our callers was snoring. Oh my gosh. And it's a dog. Oh gosh.
Yeah, he's always snoring. I'm sorry. Every time I call, everybody asks, but what can I do?
I think it's cute. You should turn that into your trademark. We hear a snoring dog. Oh, it's there. Right?
Yeah, I believe that's happened already.
It's too late. That's stuck to you, man. Anyway,
Yeah.
but you, however, have a speaking voice, so you can, unlike your dog, so you can say something.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a kitty. Not he's already stopped, so I'm not going to move it anymore. To move him. You know what? Well, there are many subjects that are being talking here, and let me give you a story, very short one, about something called brotherhood. It's related to how the police works in Mexico City, and it seems that, well, it's not. It doesn't seem. It's reality. It's some sort of organized crime inside police, where they can control pretty much every aspect of organized crime and how the money, the movement of the money goes. It doesn't matter who's the government or who you elect or whatever. It's just an independent structure that is already there. They control prostitution, gambling, you name it, drugs. And the problem with these kind of situations, and you can project this to New York City, is that the one who brought it to Mexico City was someone called Jenkins. His last name was Jenkins. He was head of the National Bank in 1942, Mexican Bank in 1942. He was part of the mafia of Jesus. And since then, what we're discussing about the police getting rebellion or whatever, they always have these false flags operations around Latin America in order to build more money. I can hear some noise like wind.
Well, what's funny is we hear your dog, and then we hear wind, but the wind might be coming from somebody, and I don't know who. It's okay. You know what? This station is full of sound effects, right? So it's okay. It's fine. And I don't have sound effect ability. I haven't either. I don't have it, or I haven't acquired it. So you guys can do the sound effects for me. How's that? So that's cool. So oh, we got a break coming. Hold your thoughts. I want to get to Australian Paul and Lee and everybody again. So we'll be back. You guys, thank you.
Mother Nature is a serial killer. No one's better, more creative. Like all serial killers, she can't help the urge to want to get caught. What good are all those brilliant crimes if no one takes the credit? So she leaves crumbs. Now the hard part is seeing the crumbs for the clues they are. Sometimes the thing you thought was the most brutal aspect turns out to be the chink in its armor, and she loves disguising her weaknesses as strength. If you can fight, fight.
Yes. Hello? Is there anyone out there hearing this?
Help each other.
Mexico City has been declared complete loss.
Be prepared for anything. Our war has just begun.
We are the hammers, and we are the nails. The world stands upon the precipice of total insanity. And we need you, and we hope you need us. Bringing information, news, and as much truth as we can eke out before Mother Nature turns us to crumbs. Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, working to become millions of voices, singing and listening to bring the sanity back home.
Enjoy your extra big-ass fries.
You didn't give me no fries. I got an empty box.
Would you like another?
Extra big-ass fries.
I said I didn't get any.
Thank you. Your account has been charged. Your balance is 0. Please come back when you can afford to make the purchase.
No.
I'm sorry you're having
Come
trouble.
on. My kids
sorry
are
you're having
starving.
Thank you for tuning in to Revolution Radio. Here at Revolution Radio, we believe in freedom of ideas, freedom of speech, but above all, we believe in freedom of existence through self-reliance. This station is 100% listener supported, and as a fundraising promotion, I have a kick-ass free gift for a $100 donation. 35,000 seeds. 25 years in the freezer. Long-term storable, 54 different varieties. So if food prices go crazy, the shit hits the fan, or if you just want to save tons of money every year by creating your own food like I do, grab our seed pack special. Just look for the banner on the homepage at freedomslips.com. Don't be a statistic. Don't be part of the problem. Be part of the solution. We need as humans to start taking care of ourselves and not depending on the megacorps to provide unhealthy, nasty food. Included in this package is also a DVD with 900 survival and off-grid living documents and the offline home canning how to do everything website all on the DVD. So when you're growing all that food, you know how to can it, store it, preserve it, etc. with all these documents. So thank you for tuning in to Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. I hope that you will pick up this package and start learning to be free. Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, where information never sleeps and freedom is one seed that needs to be planted. What are we doing live? That goes in eternity.
Revolution Radio is you. Thanks to your continuous support and participation, Revolution Radio will embark on
its 5th year! Woohoo!
Bigger and better than ever. You, the listeners, have made Revolution Radio what it is. The #1 commercial-free talk radio station on the web with nearly 24 hours of live programming, delivering direct